Hello, my love bugs, my honey bunnies, my boobalas. Mwah. Maria West here. Welcome to Love, Truth, and Beauty, episode 309. And welcome back. In today's video, I am continuing with populating my 58 or more video series playlist by reading aloud a translation that's gone from Russian to Arabic to English of Hacking the Technogenic System by Vadim Zelen, who brought transurfing to the universe. And we hope that Vadim translates this book to English very soon. And until he does that, we will be talking about it in English from other translations, particularly with the personal efforts from my friends, Moheel, Jawad, and Teodora, Salvia, who took it upon themselves to take on the task of sharing its wealth of knowledge, particularly during this time in our human history. So I'm doing my part to share this invaluable information so that it can be integrated into knowledge and further integrated into wisdom. So grab your favorite beverage, get all cozy, sit back, and allow me to read to you chapter 19 of Moheel, Jawad, and Teodora Salvia's translation of Hacking the Technogenic System. This chapter is entitled Urgent Matters, and this chapter launches part 3 of the book, The Biotic Environment. I received lots of questions from readers relating to the topic of natural system of living, and the next chapters, along with others, will focus on this topic. Question: is it true that excessive sex leads to a low level of creativity, as stated in Dreiser's novel, where the painter's talent dried up and he stopped painting after he got married? Answer: no, this is not true. Excessive sex does not lead to a decrease in the energy of creativity, nor does it lead to a decrease in the level of energy in general. Of course, if a person does not go beyond the reasonable limit, intimate relationships are an emotional field, and this is not a balancing field. So there are lots of myths about this, and it's subjective in nature. The significance lies in the following question: what does a person understand from the expression, in quotes, a lot of practice? Any work, not just sex, consumes human energy if he indulges in it and exceeds the normal or balanced standard. And every person can determine for herself, himself, where this standard lies, because people are different regarding this issue and different from person to person. But in general, the person concerned must bear in mind that energy is a force like the flow of a torrent, and it appears only during movement. In other words, energy exists where there is movement, but in stillness, there is no energy. You cannot store energy unless you consume it at the same time. And energy that is not used, it fades little by little because of the law of not being needed. And this is the structure of nature. Question: is it true that Castanese magicians believe that there are black holes formed in the luminous states of both partners after conception? Now, according to metaphysical beliefs, it is a colorful, luminous conglomerate surrounding the human body and other living creatures and inanimate objects. This aura is described in some Western teachings as a hidden component of the body. Spiritual mediators and practitioners of alternative medicine claim that they have the ability to see the aura and determine its type. No, this is not true, because there is no evidence to prove that anyone felt an abnormality after giving birth to a child. Do you really believe that nature can have an interest in hindering man as he performs his first and most important function in life? Most likely, it is quite the opposite of this. Let us turn away from such meaningless differences. Likewise, you should not take what someone once said as sacred and should not take it literally. Question: is it true that sexual energy fades when a person switches to a normal diet? Answer: no, that is not true. In fact, it declines at first, but then it increases. Eat a variety of meals with complete nutritional value, and after the transformation, everything regenerates and stabilizes. Question: why does Osho say that it is enough for a person to have sex once a year, and that sex is not an indispensable component of human life? Answer: but why exactly once and not twice or 20 times? What is the standard. If the purpose of sex is perpetuation of the human species, then the issue is quite different here. But the discussion here is about sex and not about the function of reproduction, and these are two different issues. Regarding the fact that people could live without having sex, this is true, and it is proven that many people actually don't have sex and without this having any negative impact on their activity in life. Can you identify any fundamental and clear difference between those who have an active sexual life and those who have not yet reached the age of sexual activity or are past the age of sexual activity and is for them a thing of the past? The answer is very simple. When you have some kind of energy, you can decide to use it or not, as you wish. If you don't wish to use it, you will lose that thing little by little in the same way that you lose it if you overuse it. And I emphasize once again that you can dispense with this kind of energy if you do not feel that you need it, and that this will not have any negative repercussion on any other areas of life. Question. I wrote and said, if there is no energy, you cannot do anything because you lack intent. Lately, I've been madly indulging in meditation, but the fact is that despite my natural diet, I always feel like I don't have the amount of energy it takes to keep me conscious all the time. That is why I began to adhere to ideas such as reducing sexual activity and moving to Brahma Haryana. But the reason for my question is the following. I love a girl, and I do not want to put myself before the choice of taking the path of the soul or my love for her. Okay. Now, in parentheses, Brahma Haryana, it is a Sanskrit word. In Hinduism, it is one of the 4 levels of spiritual development, meaning abstinence from sex, and in the broad sense is the practice of self-discipline and control of desires. You must not confuse love with sex and spirituality with asceticism, restraint, and austerity, because these are all different things and they don't use the same kind of energy. They simply fade away if not used. And this doesn't mean that something is added to other types of energy. When there is movement, there's energy. Let us compare between a mountain river and a stagnant swamp. Where is the energy? I don't know what kind of meditation you do and what it gives you, but I can tell you one thing. Meditation means stop self-dialogue and diving into the depths of consciousness, striving to reach some truth, and so on. These all have nothing to do with transurfing. So what is that special thing that proponents of the meditation practice have succeeded in achieving? As far as I know, the first and the last to achieve something real in this field, considering that no one knows what he was practicing besides meditation, is Buddha. And no one had heard of any success his followers might have had. Isn't this true? The self-dialogue must not stop, but it must be redirected on the right path so that a person can send his intention in the surrounding world. The transmission is a movement, but meditation is a stop and a dream. And the fall from one dream to another is more profound in this case. And who will direct your thoughts in this dream? You or the infinite physical essence residing there in its natural environment? It's a big question, a very big one. Nor does a natural nourishment offer a guarantee of awakening of the mind, even though it is like an elevator and carries you up several floors at once. Acquiring that level of awareness that makes a person feel that reality has become a perceived dream and subject to the authority of intention is precisely the primary goal that transurfing seeks to achieve. It is a very long process, and it requires a person to monitor himself or herself and control the process, but without restricting. Do you understand the difference now? We will summarize the rest of this chapter through the following points. Number 1, natural nourishment does not mean you deprive yourself of a specific thing and restrict yourself from something, but it is a totally different way of life and transfers the human being as matter to a domain where the center of vibration is higher. There is no doubt this facilitates gaining awareness, but it does not happen immediately. Number 2, question. Does the slate stone help to avoid the danger of electromagnetic radiation? Answer, I do not know. There are manufacturers who say that slate chips prevent this from happening, but nothing is certain. If it is about the protection from electromagnetic radiation of the mobile phone, there's no room to talk about blocking process because the device simply will not work in this case. Suppressing the radiation is impossible, but we can make it convenient, meaning we can make it physiologically innocuous, and the slate stone can help, at least in theory. Number 3, question. One of my friends has been working in an X-ray center for 3 years, but now she feels weak at the end of her work time and she sleeps a lot and her only desire is to sleep. Is this the effect of electromagnetic radiation? Is this the cause? The best thing is to change the workplace. The most harmful occupations are driver of a monorail and electric tramway, the work of astronauts, submarine aircraft crews, and all work beside electrical appliances. Electromagnetic radiation affects, first of all the blood and the vital fields of men and women. The red blood cells stick together like a cluster, same as it happens when you drink alcohol. It also causes serious distortion in the biofield. For those who spend a lot of time in front of a computer screen, it's a spectrum of light that can be quite destructive. This is a price that people pay for the luxury provided by the technogenic system. But most people do not care about this issue and think that everything is fine until the diseases start. There is a device that can help regarding this issue, and we can see it through this link. So the link is below. Number 4, at the same time, I cannot advise you to trust what I do. All you have to do is make up your mind and decide for yourself what to do. Maybe you saw this device and a spark of interest ignited in you, or you can take all this for information only and forget about this for a while. Perhaps another way to protect you from harm can be seen in your world. Everyone has their own way and everyone has their own games. Number 5, what does the catalog offer at the Transurfing Center? Didn't you yourself say that a person can learn everything there automatically without training? It's been many years since I said this, but the reality is changing fast and is accelerated, and there are transversal changes as well. The new reality is revealing itself before I can create the next transurfing technique that goes with it, and the books are long delayed. At the Transurfing Center, you can learn the latest techniques of controlling reality, and you can definitely do without the services of coaches if you have the ability to achieve the required level of focus. But those who have this ability to focus are not many, and usually people need an external impulse or a shock from the outside so that they can act on their own. This seems necessary now, and especially in recent times, when the power of surrounding energy and consciousness is becoming more and more forceful. People have become more inclined towards lethargy and indolence. The human life is sinking and sinking quickly in the events whose movements are not related to the will of man, and he is completely unable to do anything about this because he lacks energy and lacks awareness. Number 6, there's a deep gap that can arise between understanding theory and action. That is, between understanding theory and its application. In other words, between understanding the theory and the ability to solve the problem in practice, the real dilemma facing man lies elsewhere. He understands everything but is unable to do anything. When you read books, for example, you will learn how to decipher them, but in the lessons, you learn how to achieve the lesson in practice, meaning to make it work. Number 7, question. For 6 months now, I have been on a natural diet. Raw fish and undercooked lamb frustrate me. This last one numbs me and makes me weak. My body became abnormally thin. My behavior became aggressive, and I lost my desire for sex. My face became pale, probably due to a lack of vitamin B12, because this vitamin is not very present in plants. Okay, these are all temporary systems. After you move on and it's over, everything goes back to its natural state. I did not advise suddenly switching to vegetarian and uncooked meals. And then the transition should take place in a smooth and harmonious manner without any side effects. 1 year is not enough to purify and readapt the body. Concerning vitamin B12, the body needs only a small amount of it, and its sources are grapes, raisins, seaweed, natural apple vinegar, cider, acacia powder, grain plants. But in order to perform its task, it must be healthy and it works slowly. For this reason, too, you should not switch to a natural diet all at once, but gradually. Number 8, where there is motion, there is energy, and in stillness, there is no energy. Number 9, the thing we don't use, it atrophies and fades. Number 10, if you decide to switch to a natural feeding system, you should do it gradually and little by little. Eat a variety of meals with high nutritional value. Number 11, after the transformation is over, everything goes back as it was before. Number 12, natural nutrition does not mean that you restrict yourself from something specific, but it is a different lifestyle in general. Number 13, the natural feeding system moves the human being as matter into a zone where the center of vibration is higher. Number 14, there is no escape from electromagnetic radiation, but we can adapt to this and avoid the harm resulting from it. That is, to make it psychologically harmless, physiologically harmless, and therefore acceptable to the body, and this is possible. I do not like the term raw food, and I always avoid using it because this has completely lost its reputation, both in the media and for people who eat raw food themselves. Refraining from eating supermarket-ready meals is a great success. It is known that Arnold Ehret, the founder of natural nutrition, warned and said, never forget that in every excess there is harm. Stay away from all forms of extremism. Okay, my loves, that is my speech. I hope you enjoyed my reading of chapter 19, Urgent Matters. Please help me grow my channel by giving this video a thumbs up and leaving a comment in the comments box below or in private. Please share this video with your communities, friends, family members, and on social media platforms you feel would benefit from this content. Please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, selecting the all setting so that when I upload videos, YouTube will let you know. And if you find value, enjoy, or benefit from my content and videos, or at least entertained by them, won't you please consider supporting my work through a donation? My PayPal link is right below, or you can also support my work by buying me a proverbial cup of coffee on my ko-fi.com/Dakini Kiss link. I thank you all so much for hanging out with me, with your participation and focused attention. I really do appreciate it. I cannot do this work without you, and I do this work for those of you knowing you are so much more than what the matrix defines you to be. So until next time, my loves, always act from love outside the matrix, from your center screen, composing a new reality, quantum jumping, all your lifelines. That's right. Let's go higher and higher and higher so that we can all be the love that we are. Share a love, create, make art, make music, make love. And you can all help me repopulate the true quantum field, creation field universe. Here's to love, truth, and beauty, my beautiful divine ones. Mwah.